Tucker, and then the team signs PJ Tucker, and then obviously a lot of other new additions. Just how do you feel like this roster compares to other ones you've had during your time with the Sixers?
I say that.
It's on tape.
They remember everything.
I must be nah, but obviously playing against PJ, I thought obviously, you know, if you don't want to mention Jimmy, I thought PJ was one of the X factors. That really had a big impact for them against us. So, obviously, Dell went and did his job, and thanks to James too for what he did. Without him, it would not be possible. All these additions, and so it's gotta be very thankful. But now it's time to go. Everybody's gotta be on the same page. But we know we got a chance to win, and we gonna get on the same page, and it's gonna be fun.
And then just as a follow, just for you, given how the season ended with your couple of injuries, just how are you feeling, and maybe how did the recovery process impact what you were able to do this summer?
I'm feeling great. I was in bed all summer, so. But I'm feeling great. Healthy, ready to go, ready to compete. It's gonna be fun.
For both of you guys had pretty instant offensive chemistry last year, despite the fact that it was put together pretty late. I guess, what is the next step for you two in terms of how you grow together as a duo, and is that just more time, more reps? What's the key to that?
We know what works. Obviously, our pick and roll was almost unstoppable, probably unstoppable. And obviously, a lot of things change, when you're playing against teams that switch everything. But, we know what we have to do. And then, but I'll say, our focus is on, defense. We aim to be the best defensive team in the league. That's going to take all of us. I got to get back to, not, waiting till the fourth to be that guy, and then doing it all game. And then, we also need him to, be as aggressive as possible, and we got the pieces. So for me, coming into this year, we just want to focus on that, and then offensively, because, if you get stops, you're able to run, you're able to get in transition, you're able to get Tyrese going, and then obviously our pick and roll together, and the spacing, I'm sure is gonna be great.
And James, for you, last year you were adamant, you were going to be back here, and pushed off any questions, concerns about that. I guess now that you lived up to what you said, what's the long-term plan for you in terms of wanting to be here and all that?
Just win as many championships as I can here. That's the goal. Just going through what I went through these last few years, I think my focus is taking 1 year at a time and just, making sure I fulfill and do everything that I do individually, and then making sure my individual goals, mesh with the team and our entire goals. But taking this year and trying to do what we all expect to do, and we'll go from there. But yeah.
Dan Gelson, Associated Press. Joe, you talked a lot just now about being healthy, happy, ready to go, going to be fun. How much do you think, like, the distractions and all the drama from last year weighed on you guys on the court? And just how much does it mean to kind of come into a season without really any kind of injury or distraction or?
Which drama?
Former teammate of yours.
I don't remember any of that. I thought last year went great. As a team, starting the year, I thought we went well. I didn't feel any distraction. We were still winning games. We did a great job. And then we added James, and we went to another level. So, like I said, we know what we got to do. We kind of know what it takes to win. So we just got to go out there and do it. And, yeah.
And you've talked at media days before about wanting to win MVP and all sorts of, all NBA first teams. Are those still your individual goals the same, or did you?
No, whatever happens, happens. That's something I'm not worried about at all. All I'm worried about is, having the best team in the league because, you win games, everything else is going to take care of itself. So, my focus, like I said, going into this year is to, I really want us to be the best defensive team in the league. And then offensively, I think we can easily figure it out. And obviously during the regular season, you got to make sure, everybody stays healthy, especially, because our goal is to win a championship. But just going out there trying to win every single game and being the best team in the league.
Austin Krell, the Painted Lines. James, there were a lot was made of the way that the last 2 games went down for you specifically against the Heat. Do you feel like your body is back to what it was before? And do you feel like you have more of a chip on your shoulder this season, I guess?
No, I got a chip on my shoulder every year. It was a combination of things, but I feel like those things are ironed out, and it's just there's conversations being had and things like that to where everybody's comfortable, everybody knows what to expect, and now we just got to go out there and do it. And this training camp is going to be a start for that. I think that really this summer was a start for that, just having conversations with Joe and Doc and making sure we're all on the same page, and then working out with Tyrese, getting more comfortable. I think me learning them, and then vice versa, them learning me and who I am and what I'm about. So this summer was really good for that, and this training camp is going to be the start.
James, throughout your career, you've never really missed time. You always played big minutes. And the last couple of years, as you mentioned, have been pretty tumultuous. But I guess physically, obviously, you went through stuff. But mentally, what was that kind of like for you the last couple of years? Maybe not being physically able to do the things that you've been able to do for so long.
And I'm for the most part, I'm to myself. I don't really, people's media or whoever, they talk and they say, shoot their little jabs and shots at me or whatever the case may be. And I never respond just because I know who I am and I know what I'm about. But mentally, it was very, very difficult for me just because I'm in love with the game of basketball. If the money wasn't involved, I'd be playing basketball, And I think before the injuries, I think everybody knows that. So it was very difficult. A lot of tough times, a lot of dark moments, which I've never really went through because I was, always healthy and playing the game of basketball. But I'm in a really good space right now, and I feel like I'm back to where I needed to be and where I'm supposed to be. The feeling is great.
Joe, after back-to-back MVP caliber seasons, how do you feel like your game went to another level this offseason? In what ways did you work on your game to take it to another level?
Like I said, I was chilling on the couch, so I didn't really work on my game. So we just gonna have to wait and see, how the season goes.
Last couple questions.
He wasn't expecting that.
Joel, you after you guys lost in the playoffs, Joel, you specifically mentioned P.J. Tucker by name as a guy that you thought that the team might want to sign to increase the toughness. How surprised are you that the team actually were able to go out and get P.J.? How gratified, happy are you with that?
Like I said, all that stuff would not be happening if it wasn't for him. So, got to be thankful of what he did. But
What I do?
I don't know. But we added new guys, and it's time to go out and just do it.
Joe, you've mentioned a couple times just that the goal is to be the best defensive team in the league. Just with the roster that you guys have now, what makes you believe you're capable of doing that? And then what's it going to take to reach that type of level?
I believe we got the right pieces. Obviously adding PJ, DeAnthony is going to be a big help, and I plan on, getting back to the level I was, probably before I had all that offensive load. So, I'm just excited to just go out there and compete. Whatever happens, happens. But, our goal is to just go out there and compete together and try to win games, whatever it takes, defensively and offensively.
Pat Gallen from CBS. For both of you, would this be a disappointment if you didn't make the finals this year? And for James, are you an Eagles fan now?
We're not going to answer the first question. I think we all know what we're trying to do and the goal for this year. I think for sure the city knows, but and I do love what the Eagles are doing. I don't have a specific team, but I got certain players, but the Eagles are playing very, very well right now, especially defensively. And, I mean, Jalen Hurts looks really, really good. So I think the city is excited about what the Eagles are doing right now.
James, Dan Galson, DP. When you say a lot of tough times, a lot of dark moments, does that start with the way things ended in Houston, or you just meant last year?
When I was hurt.
When you were hurt, okay. Like how would you describe them, like dark moments? Just.
You want me to tell you how I was feeling?
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you how I was feeling.
Yeah, you guys.
Hey guys, good to see you both. I guess I'll start with you, George. Obviously, I know your knee wasn't right at the end of last season, so just how are you feeling health-wise? What did it take you to get to that point, and just maybe how is that now propelling you into camp in the season?
I had a little bit of bruising in my bones and my knee, and that took a little while to heal. But I got a good summer under me, and I think I'm fully healthy. I'm cleared, and I'm ready to play. I think I know what needs to be done and what's going to be asked of me moving forward, and I think we're all going to be able to accomplish those things.
For Shake, you seem like you had a little bit of a hard luck season last year, just with the injuries and stuff coming at a tough time. Can you take what you did in the playoffs and kind of, take some, momentum into the offseason and what you're looking to do this year?
Yeah, I definitely just kind of take it for what it is, and the mindset that I've had this whole entire summer and carrying on to the season is just preparation. Just having a preparation mindset. I know I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do, so that when moments come or opportunities come, I'll be locked in and I'll be ready to go. So, that's kind of how I look at it.
Shake, follow up to that. When you talk about Keith Pompey, the Philadelphia Inquirer, but coming out of last season, heading into training camp, people forget after you were the starting point guard at one point, and then you got injured, and then it just seems like it was a bunch of injuries, and you never really found your groove. Just talk about that a little bit, and was there a frustration level, or what was your mindset?
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating for one not to be on the court, and then two, not really being able to have the impact that you could have. But that's kind of what it's all about. You know what I mean? It's kind of going through ups and downs, and it's about what your mindset is and how you're going to go through those things and how you're going to deal with those things. You can either let it affect you and slide negatively, or you could use it to your advantage, and that's what I tried to do. So I feel like now I'm mentally
and physically. I feel stronger than ever. I'm just ready.
Noah Levick, NBC Sports Philly. George, in that Miami series, you had some back and forth with PJ, both competitive guys. What stands out about him as a competitor, and what are you expecting now with him on board?
I mean, the guy's a warrior. I mean, I think you saw it. I mean, he's someone that will run through a brick wall and run through the other team to help his team win. And I think anytime you can add a piece like that to your team, that's extremely valuable. And, he's won a championship. He knows what it takes to get to the top of the mountain. And whenever you can have that experience and toughness added to your team, along with the chemistry that he's had with other guys on this team playing alongside them, I think that's a huge boost for us. And, I'm extremely excited to play alongside him.
Josh Grebe, Liberty Ballers. This is for both you guys. How much of a difference is it going to make having a full training camp with James as opposed to just figuring it out on the fly in the middle of the season?
I'll answer that first. I think, James has been, great. He even set up something in LA for us this summer, for us to all be on the same page. He's been here for 3 weeks. So I think, having a full training camp is going to be even better, just starting from scratch, having, compounding days of practice to be able to, learn each other's tendencies and, where he wants us to be or where he thinks we should be and different things like that, I think is really going to be helpful. And then to have 4 preseason games is going to be huge also.
Yeah. I mean, having a guy like James, I feel like everything becomes a little easier. You can see that now whenever we're playing open run and pickup and stuff like that. When he has the ball in his hands, he just is able to put so much pressure on the defense that guys who are in their other spots, they kind of know what to expect and are ready for their opportunities too. So I think just being able to nail that home during this training camp will be good for us, and I feel like it's going to give us an advantage to really hit the ground running.
Mike Sealski from the Philadelphia Inquirer for George. You mentioned PJ's toughness and running through a brick wall. What is it like to compete against that during a playoff series?
Annoying. You just have someone that just like, no matter how many times you put an elbow in their chest or try to throw them down to the ground, it's like they just keep coming. They keep coming. They keep coming. And, a lot of people have said this, but, we're thankful to have him on our side. That's for sure. I mean, that's one less tough guy you have to take out on the other team. So I think him having that mentality and, like I said, the experience of getting to the mountaintop and winning a championship is something that we're going to need to achieve our goals. And like I said before, we're extremely happy to have him on our side.
Noah Levick, NBC Sports Philly. Shake, last year you described yourself as a chameleon, just willing to adjust to whatever. Are there specific things you're focused on heading into this season, and do you feel like you have a clear picture of what your role is going to be?
Not exactly. For me, this offseason was just about kind of improving at every aspect of my game, starting with my body and just kind of going from there. I know, it's crazy with the season happening. So much can change. So much can happen. It's just up to you to kind of be ready and embrace anything that comes your way, especially maybe coming off the bench and being in that second unit role. I know I'm going to be one of the leaders in that second unit, so it's going to be up to me to kind of make sure guys are in the right spot, especially having some new guys join the team. So I'm excited for the challenge. I think we have a great group of guys, especially in that second unit, who can really make an impact and put a lot of pressure on a lot of teams. So I'm excited.
Dave, you ran from KYW News Radio. When asking Joel in what ways did he even try to take his game to even another level this offseason, he joked that he spent the offseason on the couch, which is probably not true. So in what ways do you guys notice that Joel even took his game to the next level?
Did he really say that?
Yeah, twice.
That's not surprising. But no, I mean, I was out in LA for a little bit, and I got to see, Joel. And obviously, I think the thing that's admirable about Joel is, I was telling someone earlier, is like, no matter how many times he failed or has had to miss because of an injury or snipped out of an award, he comes back with the same passion and drive to be even better. And I know he jokes around, said he was sitting on the couch, but I mean, it's admirable. You know, the guys like us, you see a guy like that with all the achievements that he's had, all the money that he's made, and he still comes in and works like he's trying to make the team. He's a diligent worker, and I think that's why, you know, this team has been successful and is going to be successful when you have a guy like that. The leader and the star player of your team works that hard.
For both of you, kind of following up on something that you just said, Shake, obviously a lot of depth was added to this team this year, and so just what are you both anticipating as far as the competitiveness of training camp and fighting for minutes and rotation spots and all of that stuff?
I think it's going to be great. You know, just having that competitive factor and guys pushing each other, I feel like it's going to do nothing but really be able to take this team to the next level. Just having guys come in with certain mentalities and certain mindsets is just, I feel like it's just going to be an atmosphere full of growth and from top to bottom, you know, and I think it'll be good for us.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get the best out of each other. Training camp's going to be extremely competitive, and obviously, you know, it's a long season, and guys may go down, but it's definitely reassuring to know that, you know, there's guys behind you that you know are going to be ready to play and play at a high level every night. I think depth is a good thing. You look at the teams that have won championships years past, you know, they all have depth, and I think that's something that we wanted to add this offseason, and we've done that, and I'm excited. Competition is a great thing.
Appreciate it. I'm good. You don't need no name tag, huh? I'm just doing what I'm told.
Keith Pompey, the Philly Inquirer. Daniel, so why did you want to come to the Sixers?
They had great potential here, good coaching staff, great organization, and it has a lot of tradition. So saw a great opportunity.
Gina Mizell, also from the Philly Inquirer. Daniel, just you mentioned the roster that's here and the opportunity, but you're reuniting with some people that you've played with in the past, you know, James and even Daryl Morey. Just how much of the familiarity is that a comfort for you, or just how much of that did that play into your decision? And is it kind of crazy that here you guys all are in Philly trying to kind of accomplish the same goal?
Yeah, it was the way everything is playing out is just, I mean, I feel like it's the higher power. It makes everything comfortable when I did make my decision when they did call me. So having that comfort and knowing, playing with players that play with you and know your game is always going to make you feel at ease. So that's why I decided to come here. You know, like I said, winning roster, winning coach. Just still want to get better. We want to win, so that's the focus.
Over here, Matt Murphy with Sixers.com. Jaden, some of your highest scoring games in the G League last year came during playoff time. Where do you think you grew the most as a player and even as a person during your rookie season?
I'd probably say just adapting to the game. Like college to the NBA, it's a big jump, so it's faster. Guys are smarter, stronger, more athletic, so be able to make that adjustment and finding your role, I feel like that's the biggest thing coming into the league.
Who are some of the veterans on the team that maybe took you under their wing last season?
I probably go with all the guys. You know, you got Tobias. We had Danny Green. Danny Green was great when he was here. Matisse, everybody like Shake, all them. Everybody would gravitate towards me, talk to me, just show me like things to do here and there during certain situations. So just having guys like that, especially on the team with all these guys that have been through a lot. So it's great to have some people like that.
Daniel, just what do you kind of anticipate your role being on this team? How do you kind of expect to slide in with both the guys who've already been here and then also the new players that this roster has added?
My role is to do whatever the team needs me to do so we can win games. That's it. Like, all the other spectacular stuff behind it don't really matter to me. A lot of people know in an organization, whatever it takes to get the job done, let's do it.
Daniel, toughness has been a word that has been said a lot today. What does toughness look like to you as you enter the your seventh year in the NBA?
Oh, man. It's been a journey. I can say that, but it has added to my ability to understand and comprehend and get in where I fit in. My journey just molded me to be right here in this position so I can impact and add to this team and contribute to this team so we can all be better, you know. So I went through some tough times by myself, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Like I said, it molded me to be here, to present myself to the 76ers, to come as a new player so I can focus on the goal and make sure that we are doing what we need to do in order to make sure that we are okay and that we achieve the goals that we have set for ourselves.
Noah Levick, NBC Sports Philly. Daniel, you obviously got to know James in Houston. What's he like as a teammate behind the scenes, and what is your relationship like with him now?
That's my guy. He's a selfless guy. On and off the court, he do a lot of great deeds that are untalked about. And he don't want credit from it because it's all done from the heart. So he's a good dude, real good dude. I know his mom, know his sister, know his camp. So growing up around him and just seeing the things that he's doing on and off the court, it just makes my respect for him as an elite athlete and what he's doing so much greater. You know what I'm saying? So he's a tremendous leader on and off the court and a selfless guy, you know what I mean? And he's always willing to make sure that he can help you in any way possible.
Sam DiGiovanni, Clutch Points. Earlier, Joel said that one of the goals he has is for you guys to be the best defensive team in the league, and both of you guys are well known for your defense. So how excited are you to play on a team that's kind of playing into your strengths and echoing that same message?
It's playing to our strengths. So me and Jay, we happy about that. Huh?
You know that.
Yeah. So but that's the goal though. To come here and, like I said, impact the game in any way, anyhow, to make sure that we as a team is winning and achieving our goals.
Daniel, Austin Krell, the Painted Lines. You are one of, I guess, a long line of role players that have played next to James, and he's made better. What specifically about his game is so easy to sort of mesh with, and what role did James play in you coming here in terms of recruitment?
The role that he played was nothing because he didn't really call me. So he didn't really play. The decision was made based on me knowing the roster, doing research, and talking to my agency. So, and then, of course, James' ability to just pass the ball, look out for others, willing to turn down a layup that he can simply just lay it up and he'll kick it out to get someone else going. And that's always a type of connection that he just built with his shooters, players, people that's going to play hard. The only thing he wants you to do is just play hard. You play hard and be you. There's nothing else that he can ask more from you.
Joe.
Hey, Zay.
How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing good.
The team obviously made a lot of moves this offseason, brought in a lot of different players, some players that you would say could play your position or similar to. So there's obviously a lot of competition. How do you take that when you see that, or you just bury your head and work, or do you see that as like more motivation to work harder?
Yeah, I mean, you just bury your head and work, like you said. At the end of the day, it's like it's me versus me out there whenever I'm getting better. So as long as I'm getting better each and every day, I really believe that I'm going to be in the right situation at the end of the day. But, yeah, we brought in a lot of great players, a lot of great assets to this team. So I really think it's the pieces that we need to, go out there and do what we need to do each and every day and get better and win games.
Isaiah, how would you assess your summer? Some strong summer league play, points-wise, as well as clutch baskets, and then that translated into some time at the Rumph Classic. Interested how you felt about that atmosphere and experience with the summer in general.
Yeah, no, it was a great summer, very productive. Got to work on a lot of aspects of my game. Like you said, had a good summer league. Got a lot of experience. Got to play in the Rumph, which was a great experience. They showed a lot of love out there at the Classic. It was my first time playing, but yeah, just got to work on my game a lot. Get better each and every day. Get stronger. Gain some weight, and just look forward to the season now.
Michael Kasky, Main, CBS Sports. Isaiah, what kind of goals or expectations do you have, both individually and from a team perspective, for the coming season?
Yeah, so first I'm gonna start off with the team. The end goal is to get a championship. To be the last team standing, and I think we all have the right mindset to do so. Individually, just continue to work on myself each and every day, get better and get better and get better. So therefore, when it comes time to play and perform, the team knows what they're gonna get from me. Be able to knock down shots, be able to create whenever I need to, quick decision, and just be a great all-around defender. Just be able to do that day in and day out. So team, definitely just be able to build chemistry and go out there and play for each other and not for one person, and just go out there and get some dubs. Appreciate you.
Hey, Isaiah, being drafted alongside Tyrese Maxey and Paul Reed, what has it been like for you to be on this journey alongside those two teammates?
It's been great. It's been great. Those are my guys. We made a connection since the first day we got drafted. Each and every day we push each other. We're always in the gym together, and we're just looking to get better, and we're just looking to have the brightest future possible that we can. And we really believe that can happen with this organization. So just being able to go through this journey together and just have a brotherhood that's going to last forever is just a big honor, and it's a huge opportunity for us to make strides together. Thank you. Have a good one.
Hey, Tobias. A couple of the guys said maybe it was James that organized maybe you guys coming out to L.A. during the summer, and almost everybody was there. What was that experience like for you guys as a team? Maybe kind of chill, getting to know each other a little bit better, but also working out and coming together as a team?
Yeah, it was, obviously in the summer being able to get everybody together is, a hard task, but everybody was there and we were able to kind of get up and down, play 5-on-5, go out to dinner, but just being able to be around each other. And, everybody was doing a really good job of putting some great work in the summer. So just being able to be there, everybody can showcase what they've been working on, and that's how you build chemistry, is just being around each other, communicating, talking in those situations. So it was a great time out in, we were in LA, so those few days we were there were big for us. And, as we got back here a couple weeks before training camp, just to be getting up and down and following up on that was good.
Gina Mizell, Philadelphia Inquirer. Hi, Tobias. Good to
Hey,
see you.
you too.
Just with the moves that you guys made this offseason to increase depth, defense, toughness, those are all words we've already heard today. Just how do you feel like this roster compares to other Sixers rosters you've been on, and just where do you see kind of those guys most helping you this season?
I mean, I think it's probably one of the most competitive groups in terms of like just the amount of talent we have. It's going to be a very competitive training camp at different positions, and we need that. We need a competitive training camp. We need that grit and that grind that we're going to face in these next couple of days together as a unit. So I think we added a lot of guys with that type of toughness, but then also guys that can space the floor and shoot the ball as well at different positions. So, I just think the versatility is there for our group, and then now it'll be just a matter of figuring out how we all can gel together on the basketball court, defensively and offensively. But we got a lot of talent to make some good things happen this year. But it's going to take a lot of work, and it's going to take a lot of chemistry for us as a whole group to come together and figure it out. But that's the challenge we have ahead, and we look forward to using these next couple of days to compete, but then also to really learn one another's styles of play and what makes us the toughest team to play, to what makes us to be a tough team this year.
Hey, Tobias. Mike Sealski from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Once James got here last year, the number of threes you took, I think, went up, and your percentage making them went up. How do you view that kind of change in your game? Like, do you go into the offseason figuring I'm going to get more catch-and-shoot threes, playing with James over a full season, and what kind of adjustments do you make to your preparation for the season, maybe knowing that?
Yeah, I mean, last season it was in the beginning of the year it was tough for me because now at one point I was shooting like 29% from three, which is like not to my standard, and from shooting very, very well from 3 years prior, that was tough for me. But in reality, I just got to the drawing board and figured out ways to increase that three-point percentage where, after All-Star break, it was up over 40%. So, just really going into off-season is figuring out ways to kind of follow up from that. And, the biggest adjustment was letting it fly and not worrying about the result, but shooting it quicker and shooting it from different spots and letting it go. So I do look to kind of let them go even more this year in different situations on the floor. I just think it opens up the floor for everyone else. And, if I'm in those positions to receive that basketball, I have to let it go to space the floor the best way for our group. So it was an adjustment for me because it was kind of the first time that I've, in my career, like been in those positions as kind of a catch-and-shoot player off the ball. But, after a couple of games and once I made a few adjustments shooting-wise and with the preparation, it all came together for me. And, I was able to have some very good games all throughout after the All-Star break. So I do look to follow that up this season. So that's a secret I can't tell you because then I'd be giving my secret sauce away. But shooting it quicker, I was noticing like in a lot of the film prior, I just wasn't letting the ball go fast enough in certain areas on the floor and hesitating a little bit, but just letting it fly and letting it go and living with the result was probably the biggest adjustment. Yep.
Hey, Tobias. Just speaking of adjustments, adapting your game, now with PJ on board, figure that might mean more minutes for you at the three, sliding down a position, obviously something you've done before, but what are going to be the keys to taking on that role and being successful at that position?
Yeah, I mean, in Doc's system, honestly, the 3 and 4 is pretty identical. Probably the only adjustment would be like who you're guarding defensively, and last year I guarded 2, 3s, 4s, so I don't think it's that much of adjustment, to be honest. They're identical positions. When we played in LA, myself and Gallinari were the 3-4, and we never really labeled ourselves as 3 or 4. It was just forwards. So I think that's kind of the same adjustment here. Obviously, we'll see like what positions we're in offensively as a group, but in terms of playing the 3 or the 4, they're pretty identical, to be honest.
Hey, Tobias. Kate Scott, NBC Sports Philadelphia. From the outside looking in, it looked like a really joyous off-season for you. You're a movie star.
Thank you.
Your baby, your dog is growing up, and you got married. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
How would you describe your off-season and maybe the impact it has on you coming into this year?
No, it was a great off-season for me. As you said, I got married this off-season. I had a puppy. I learned that I was a bad puppy dad from this trainer, but he was right because I spoiled my puppy too much. So I figured that out. But like when the season ended, I knew that it was an eventful summer for me. Wedding, honeymoon, etc. So I probably took like a week and a half and then got back in the gym because I knew there were going to be pockets in the summer where I wasn't going to be able to be fully present in the gym and whatnot. But I just got to work. I put in a lot of hours. Speaking to Doc in the exit meeting and what he wanted myself and the group to focus on, and just getting back in the gym, I was excited to get back in the gym and kind of keep what I had going for myself towards the end of the year. So a lot of work, a lot of conditioning, working on my body, making sure that I was fully healthy all throughout the summer. And, to this point now, I had a wedding, which is the best day of my life. We had an amazing time, and to where I'm at now, my marriage is great. Being married is awesome, and it was an exciting time for me. I turned 30 years old as well. I don't know how I'm saying that right now because I asked Jaden Springer how old he turned yesterday, and he told me 20, and I was like, that's crazy, but it just goes to show like the NBA. When I came in the league, I was 19 years old, so it goes by fast. But this is an amazing time, and to go into my 12th season in the NBA, it is a true blessing for me, and I'm excited.
Sam DiGiovanni, Clutch Points. Speaking of the younger players, one of the things that Doc said when he was up here was that Maxey, Paul Reed, and Matisse have been 3 of the hardest workers this offseason. So how excited are you to see how those young players take another step forward this year?
Yeah, I mean, all of them have done a great job with using this offseason. It's the first full offseason in 3 years for a lot of guys who've been in the league for that long. But Jaden, Matisse, Tyrese, they've all been in the gym working constantly. You're able to check in on guys throughout the summer, make sure that they're, putting their work in, putting their time in. And I think you're going to see big improvements from a lot of guys. Biggest thing is during this year is to continue to have that steady work ethic throughout the year, no matter what's going on. This group is going to need every guy, every player, and we got a lot of talent on this team, and it's exciting for every person in that locker room to really excel for our team to hopefully win a championship.
To kind of build off Mike's question about your three-point shooting once James arrived, just the role that you had to change it in the middle of the season last year, or at least shift it. So now going into this year, just how much more at peace or comfortable do you feel just kind of knowing what's expected of you or required of you just with this iteration of the team?
Yeah, I mean, I do have a greater feel for how we will flow and play. Obviously, you never fully know, but the way that we played in the playoffs, that was kind of like a blueprint when we were at our best of how we can be really good. So, just following up on that, and then also I know that what's expected of me each and every night in terms of being a leader, in terms of my energy, in terms of defending on the basketball floor as well. And those are controllables that I can be present with each and every night that I play. In terms of like the offense and the shots, those will be there. And I always said, the better we are defensively, the better team we are offensively, and kind of that's really the goal for this group going forward. But for me, it was easier to work this summer knowing, okay, this is what was successful for me last year. This is how I can grow off that success and be better for our group this year.
Hi, Tobias. Dave Uram from KYW News Radio. After the Heat series last playoffs, a common theme was mental toughness.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think that improved in the offseason? And it's early, but in what ways are you noticing improvements in the gym and on the court?
Yeah, like you said, it's still early. Playing 5-on-5 pickup, you're not really going to be mentally, you're not really going to be presented with much things to really come at your mental toughness. So I think training camp will get a better feel. And realistically, when we hit adversity, that's when we'll really see how tough we are mentally as a team. But, I think, we can keep a couple staples of how we'll play, pillars of who we'll be as a team defensively, how we will be when things aren't going our way throughout this year, to keep us mentally focused and mentally stable in who we are as a group and team. So right now, everything's all good. 0-0, right? Let's see how things are in the season when, whatever our record is. If, hopefully we get out to a great start and keep things rolling. But it's really when you hit that type of adversity that you find out if you are a mentally tough team or not.
If I could follow up, do you feel like the additions of PJ and Montrezl Harrell and other additions you made this offseason can help in that area and really are catered towards that area?
Yeah, I think the additions of everybody that we added this offseason bring us. We got guys who have been in winning environments that know how to win, that take a pride in winning, and truth be told, they take a pride in, really being the best at whatever role is asked of them. So I think adding those type of guys to our team for sure helps us. And now it's on us to really figure it out as a group. I think it's exciting to be able to go into this new season. As we go into training camp, we know we have a lot of work to do. We know where we left off last year. That wasn't where we wanted to be. It's all good to say, hey, this is the year, but nothing's going to be presented to us or handed to us, and we understand that, and we need to be ready to work in training camp, and we need to be ready to compete and get ready and figure out how we can really come together in a short period of time to figure out how we can be the best team that we can be. All right, thank you guys.
Hey guys, I'll start us off. Matt Murphy, Sixers.com. If you both would answer this, that'd be great. How did playing with the Delaware Bluecoats in the G League help you guys grow your game last season?
I would say for me, Charles Brown, I would say for me, just the coaching staff down there, they were really particular and very focused on what our role would be if we played for the Sixers. They did a good job with just getting us extra work and just extra film. But overall, it was great. It was a great experience. And you can't do nothing but learn from it and apply what we learned to the NBA games.
I mean, like what he said, I mean, it was great just going up and down with the team in the G, and just the coaches down there helping us and supporting us through the process. And, just, I mean, most of the time we go down there, we score a lot and stuff like that. But, we as a player know coming up here, we're not gonna be as what we are down there, just coming up here and playing our role, like he said. So, yeah, just make us just maximize our effort and just what we do when we can come back in with the Sixers.
For Charles Bassey, what stands out to you about watching Joel Embiid at your position?
I mean, it's great, just, I mean, to me, he's one of the best big in the league, and just, just watching him in practice and going against him in practice and, pick up and stuff like that, it's been great, going against him offensively and defensively. It's been great, we push each other, everybody on the team, each player every day, and, it's been great just, watching him.
Charles Brown Jr., Anthony Gilbert back here, Liberty Ballers. Just wanted to ask you two quick questions. Can you talk a little bit about growing up in Philadelphia and where you come from, and then also to that point, talk about your basketball journey and how you've, how could I say, persevered to get to this point as a Philadelphia 76er?
I was raised in West Philadelphia. I went to St. Joseph's. I went to George Washington High School. I went to Imhotep Charter High School, if you're familiar with that. I usually stayed around the city for most of my career. I went to prep school in Connecticut for about 8 months. That was a good experience. It was an all-boys school just to get away and try something new. But I had a pretty long journey, pretty interesting journey. I started in Atlanta. I was on a two-way with Atlanta. Then after that, I played in the G for a little bit with the Iowa Wolves, Minnesota G League team. Then I went to Dallas. I was on a 10-day with Dallas. Then I got the call from the Sixers for a two-way, and it kind of like surprised me because I never knew I would play for my hometown. And it's a blessing to be here and just be home. The support is great from the Sixers, the community, the fans, even my family. To be playing around them is like a dream come true, and that's all I wanted. But yeah,
That's tough.
thank you.
a lot of people so far that you were one of the guys who was in the gym the most this summer. I guess what was the focus of your off season? What specifically were you working on?
A lot of it was shooting related. It's hard to create defensive situations in an off season when it's you and a rebounder, but doing what I could conceptually and film wise on the defensive end, but mostly just working on myself offensively, whether it's ball handling in the open court or corner threes and just catch and shoot, doing things out the move.
Gina Mizell with the Philadelphia Inquirer. To go off of Kyle's question, just with your shooting, was it timing? Was it mechanics? Like maybe what were kind of the things that you really are able to sort of hone in on in that type of environment when you have that much time?
Yeah. Some of the things are hard to explain or really quantify, but I guess you could say just condensing my shot down, getting rid of wasted movement and which allows for more accuracy and consistency.
Hey, Matisse. I guess back here.
Hey.
I guess, you talked about what you worked on. Was it any different than past years? I know you were playing for Australia a couple years ago. Obviously, a couple years ago was COVID. Like, was kind of what you were doing any different? The intensity level any different?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have a chance to work on myself the last 2 off seasons. The first one was COVID and there was no gyms. The second one, I was working to win a medal at the Olympics with Australia. So there wasn't a lot of space for me to just work on Matisse. So this was my first chance to have a whole off season, a real traditional off season, and then dedicate it solely to improving myself.
Hey, Matisse. Michael Kaskey, Maine, CBS Sports. I want to know what you thought of all the additions that the team made over the offseason. Obviously, a lot of you guys talked about a lack of toughness after you lost to the Heat last season, and that seemed to be, a big thing that was addressed by the front office. So I was wondering what you thought of all the Montrezl and all the rest of the additions.
Yeah, I think holistically, just what these new guys do to our identity as a team. I mean, they all individually bring their own amazing talents and gifts, but who they are innately as players and people on the court, I think is what, like you said, was missing in that area of toughness and grit. And their presence, I think, will change some of the structure of our identity and allow us to take strides in the areas where we've been weak before. And I can only see it just being a contagious thing that trickles down to every other guy.
To go off of that, Joel, when he was up here earlier, said that he wants you guys to be the best defensive team in the league. Obviously, that's such a strength of yours. So with what you guys have coming back, plus the new additions, just how good defensively do you think you guys can be, and what's it going to take to maybe reach that type of elite level?
I mean, how good can we be? I think we could set the standard for how good you could be as a team defensively. I think as far as what it will take to get there is just a level of being bought in and being able to sacrifice yourself, or whether it's being tired or wanting to be right, but just doing whatever is necessary for the team. And like I said earlier, I think that these new guys and the guys we've got back and the level of commitment that can just be felt throughout the gym, I think we have everything we need to make that happen.
Hey, Matisse. Noah Levick, NBC Sports Philly. D'Anthony, he's one of the few guys in the league who's kind of in your class with the steal and block rates for his position. Just what are your impressions that you've had playing against him, and what allows him to get all those steals and blocks?
You know what's funny? If you ask him, he would tell you that I stole the Defensive Player of the Year award from him in college, but I stand by the fact that I deserved it. But he's been doing this for a long time. We've been playing against each other for a while now, so I've been able to see his evolution, but then also just see his ability and his ability to do some of the things that I thought were just unique to me at some of the highest levels. And I think being able to have this type of tag teaming effect where we can throw different looks, because it is one thing to have guys who can get steals and blocks, but it's another thing to have guys who do it in different ways. So being able to throw two players who are really effective in that area at some of the best players in the league, I think will be a really exciting tool for us. And then just for me and him, something to just really get into.
Sam DiGiovanni, Clutch Points. You said a lot of your work has been about your shooting. Do you have a certain percentage in mind that you want to hit, or is it just more about how you feel out there in the live game situations?
Yeah, I would like to hit 100% of my shots this season. I mean, yeah, at this point, it's like I've done the work. It's just a matter of seeing where the cards fall, like just seeing how it all plays out now. I've made the progress. I put in the work. I've got up the reps, and now it's just a matter of seeing how it manifests throughout the season. I'll go in with the intention of making every single one, and will most definitely be disappointed in that, but I'm just making sure that I see growth based off of where I was last year is all that really matters.
All right, thanks, guys.
Cool.
Montrez, Kai Carlin, Sixers Wire. Just what about the situation was kind of stood out to you? Why come here? And also, can you just talk about your relationship with James, please?
It was definitely a opportunity for me to be able to get back with the coaching staff that I'm kind of used to, coach staff that I've been under, and Doc was the one that actually gave me my opportunity to actually be able to come along as a player in this league, really. So it wasn't a hard decision to be able to pick to come here, and definitely with the rotation that they have and the things that they've built over time, and seeing the transition and the way that they're angling to go, I just feel like I fit that nature to where they want to be. As far as my relationship with James, man, that was like my first 2 years in the league, man. So that's been a long time ago. He's changed as a player. I've changed as a player. So really, it's just about we gotta have to get back in the gym and basically get back into the different situations to what he's comfortable with, the way he likes things done, how he want them done, man. And it's just about figuring those little things out. I'm never really looking at as far as like myself, like what has to be done. Really, it's just more so about how I'm gonna come along to help these guys win, and that's really. Not really just only James. That's him, Joel, Tobias, Maxie, all the guys who've been here along that process before we even came along.
Gina, myself, from the Philadelphia Inquirer. What were your primary focuses in the off season as far as working on your game, and how do you feel like that's going to translate on this team and with this roster?
Basically, all the little things that I continuously to do well now. I'm finishing around the basket. Shooting 15 to 18 consistently, corner threes, ball handling, just all the little different things that I, do along the nature. But really, honestly, I just, build my game as a complete player. Literally do all the things that I feel like is going to, keep me around this game. So shooting is definitely one, ball handling, and definitely making sure I'm in the best shape of my life. My summer regimen is really, not one of any regular one. I literally think I play basketball all year round. I don't vacation. I haven't vacationed since I came in the league. Honestly, I've never been to a vacation spot. I literally go to any league I can find, no matter if it's I played out here in a couple leagues before, the Brotherly Love, the Danny Rump tournament, so AEBL, Drew League. Like, I don't put the basketball down. I'm blessed to be able to play this game and call it my job, so I don't try to spend too much time away from it, really. I think I probably take the first week off to just give my body some time to just, relax and just sit down with my kids and just not move and just be around the house. But then after that week or two, I'm right back to it.
John Clark from NBC Sports Philadelphia. How much did James blow up your phone, and did he kind of really push you into coming here?
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I think that's called tampering. Ain't that something like that? Ain't that a rule or something
Well,
like that?
it was after the
I don't
the
know,
date,
man.
right?
I don't know. I have no clue, man.
This is not a deposition.
I really have no clue, really. But it's good to be back in a situation with a familiar guy that I'm used to. I've seen James throughout the summer and up there Rico runs and just passing throughout, you know, being in the city of LA. That's a lot of time where I work out with my trainer, Rico Hines. So I've seen him a couple times, man, towards like the later on, I would say the last couple of days leading up to it. He definitely started calling a little bit. I think I talked to him and Tobias a little bit, but you know, that was kind of basically already set in stone. They kind of knew it was about to happen, really. So, but like I said, it just feels good to get back with familiar guys that I'm kind of, you know, been around for a while. Like I played with James before. I played with Tobias before. So, like I said, it feels good to be back around not only familiar faces with the coaching staff, but, you know, guys you play with on the floor, share the floor with as well.
What's it like to play against Joel Embiid? And did you guys joke or talk about your little dust up on the court?
We haven't. That's the crazy thing about it. We haven't, because I think we both understand that it's the competitive nature. It's the passion that we both have towards the game and the will to want to be able to put our team in position to win. And, you know, throughout that point in time, we was rival, you know, competitors going against each other. And basically just the tempers of, you know, like I said, wanting to will each other's team to a win. They basically just bump heads. I mean, and that's the type of person you would want to be sharing the floor with, definitely, because it basically shows that, you know, this guy is, you know, built towards winning. He wants to win. He'd do anything to, you know, basically put his team in position to win, no matter who it's against. And I think it definitely just basically shows a sign of respect. So.
Montrez, you and PJ are renowned for your sneaker collections. You specifically are always rocking the questions or the answers. What is it like now to play for the team that Allen Iverson played for?
People don't really know that I actually was with Reebok for like a year and a half, so that definitely was the big reason with wearing those. But I'm a fan of Iverson's. Not only what he done for the game, man, just the person he is, the different trials and tribulations that he had to overcome as a person, man. It's just a full testament to his whole story. Even when, you know, I signed here, actually, you know, to get a phone call from him, man, like, that's crazy. Like, I, like, seen my phone and, like, I, like, instantly kind of knew it was him, like, off the voice, but, like, that was, like, big, you feel me? And it just shows, you know, the people that actually, you know, put this uniform on, come through here, and you know, was once a Sixer, will always be a Sixer, you know, and that's big. So, really, man, it's just a huge honor, really. I got some laid over here for the City Edition uniform, man. So I got a couple of special Iversons that, you know, haven't ever been seen and, you know, won't ever be seen. I got some crazy PEs I done, so. And it's definitely going to come out. Any more serious questions? Literally, the day I signed, I talked to him maybe like 3 hours after. So literally the same day I signed, I literally got a phone call from him. So that was definitely big. Oh, man, that's nice. Oh, y'all have a good day.
Some of that H2OP read. You know what I'm saying?
Paul, I know right here. How many inches did you end up adding to that vertical? I know that was your during your exit interview. You said that's a big priority.
2. No, just playing.
I added like 8 inches. When I first tested, I was 28. Now I'm at 36. We just gonna keep going up.
And Tyrese, how much time have you gotten to spend playing or working with the different guys that are going to be in the backcourt this year, and you know how prepared do you feel you are to, you know, work with these different combinations you guys now can put on the floor?
Yeah, I mean, I work with Shake while we're here. You know, him and T-Lash, me, him, T-Lash, Spence. We do a lot of different things. I've known Shake for a long time, so I did some things with him these last couple of weeks. Anthony Melton, I worked with him when I was in LA. As soon as he got traded, I think that was cool. Got to kind of get a feel for his game, got to compete a little bit with him, and then James, off and on all summer, just because we only got 21 games I think in the regular season last year, and he's going to be a big part of our team this year. He's going to have the ball in his hands a lot, so knowing how he plays and how to play off him is going to be big.
Gina Mizell with the Philadelphia Inquirer. Tyrese, you mentioned at the end of last season that you wanted to work on your handle in your decision-making, both to get your own shot but also to get teammates more involved. How did you go about doing that, and where do you feel like you're at with that part of your game heading into the season?
Yeah, so, normally when you're working out, you do a lot of one-on-0 stuff. So, this summer, I did a lot of live stuff. So I had, certain guys, if it was Spence, he would bring in some guys. Then I had, my high school best friend or my childhood best friend. He would help me as well. Shout out to him because, and I'm very competitive. So I was going at him every single day sometimes for weeks. But that's what I did. I did a lot of, playing against a live action. Once you do that, making live game reads, whether it's scoring for yourself or dishing it off to teammates, that was big for me. And then just being able to build muscle and fight through screens. That defense is going to be a huge part of our game this year. So.
Hey, Tyrese, John Clark with NBC Sports Philadelphia. How much do you think you and James push each other? He talked about the workouts you guys had, but also for you, the way he plays and makes players better around him and stuff like that.
Yeah, pushing each other. Every single time we play pickup or one-on-one, I don't want to lose to James. I mean, it's like my big brother, like playing against your big brother. And it's been times where we played pickup in the past couple of weeks, and it's like we're going to bump heads because, I'm just extremely competitive like that, and he is too. So, which is really good. It's really good. When you have guys that are very competitive, I have one next to me who's extremely competitive. And when you have a group full of guys that are extremely competitive like that just makes your team a lot better. So, but yeah, playing with him is extremely fun as well too. So we've done a lot of things while we were working out together, and then just being able to have a chemistry and a brotherhood of I can pick up the phone, I can call him whenever, and not just for basketball, it's for life, and I really do appreciate him for that.
Hey, Tyrese.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oh, thanks, Paul. Tyrese, Dave Uram from KYW News Radio. What heights do you think you can take your game to this season? What are your expectations for yourself?
Honestly, Coach Doc said something in the locker room recently, and it's this is a we season, not a me season. This season is going to be all about us as a group, as an organization, and I just want us to be the best that we can possibly be. I want us to go out here and I always say I like to prove 1% better every day. Training camp starts tomorrow. I want us to improve 1% better every single day. We have new guys on this team, new group. We're blessed to have James for training camp this year, and not just 21 games. So we're going to go out there and we're going to compete extremely hard. And I'm not really worried about the individual accolades. I just want to go out there for help my team as much as possible. And one of the main things I really kind of focused on is trying to become a better leader. I feel like I have this personality where I'm always smiling, I'm always happy, and I work extremely hard. So I try to push my teammates. I push him all the time. I talk to him, pull him to the side, because he's a key part of our team. What he does, what he brings to the team is a lot of guys can't do. He can switch 1 through 5. He can get offensive rebounds. He can play with energy, and he has a special talent. And I just want him to go out there and show that every single night and help us try to win games. So that's just another thing that I try to bring.
If I could follow up on something completely different. You talk about your personality. You were very much a man about town this offseason, a Phillies game, a Union game. There was the young fan who did not want to see you get traded, and you surprised him. Why do you think you have such a connection to this city?
I think it's the work ethic. The city of Philadelphia is such a blue-collar city. And it's like everybody here that goes to games or that I see around town, they work extremely hard for what they have, like extremely hard for what they have. So when you work hard for what you have, and you really cherish it. And I feel like I really believe that because I worked extremely hard to get where I am today. Nothing was given to them, nothing was given to me. I went out and took everything I got. I didn't have any handouts. I went to a public school. You know what I mean? I went to Kentucky. When I was in 8th grade, I sat down and made a list of goals. I told people I was going to go to Kentucky. I told people I was going to be a McDonald's All-American, and I was going to be a first-round pick. You know, when you tell people that in the 8th grade, they're looking at you like you're crazy. And, you know, once you set your mind to it, you know, it is what it is, and you go after it.
Hey, Tyrese. Paul Hudrick, Liberty Ballers. Doc said it got to the point this offseason where Spencer and Sam had to show up at Doc's house to have a talk with you about how much you're working out and that you maybe needed to take a step back. Is that something you feel like you need to maybe work on a little bit, is knowing when to, you know, because you obviously want to work all the time, but maybe taking a step back and getting some rest and, you know, getting that perspective?
It's funny that you asked that. I mess with him all the time about it because he gonna try to beat me to the gym, and that's just who he is, and he works extremely hard too. So it's something that you have to learn being a professional. I've always been work, and you know, throughout the 82 game season, that's a long time to play basketball. You know, playing however many minutes the coaching staff needs you to play, you need to be available, and you want to be healthy, and you want to be the best version of yourself. So, you know, this year I took my first vacation ever, and that was ridiculously, you know, it was too long for me. It was too much doing nothing, and but it was great. You know, I got to spend a lot of time with my family. My entire family went with me. You know, I was blessed to have a lot of fun with them. But, I mean, it's a part of becoming a better professional, knowing when to take off, knowing how to rest your body, knowing how to recover. And the medical staff really helped me. They've helped me a lot. They've been on me about recovery and all those different things and taking time off. But, you know, once you rather somebody tell you to pull back and somebody have to try to ramp you up. And you have two guys up here that, you know, they're going to have to pull us back. You know, I know Paul Reed works extremely hard as well. And I even had to say, hey, yo, P, like, why are you on the treadmill before we play game 4? Like, get off the treadmill, P. So, but, you know, that's just who he is. And he works extremely hard. And you have to have guys like that on your team as well.
Paul, you know, you had a good playoff run last season as the backup center. The team still goes out and signs Montrez. How does that change maybe your mentality at all? I feel like you were about to step into a role where you're, you know, the backup big, and then they still add one. Does that change how you think at all, or, you know, what your vision is for yourself this year?
Oh no, that didn't change anything about my mentality. You know, Montrez is a great player. I think he's going to come in and help us win some games, and I think he's a great addition to the team. I'm just glad that we got some extra guys on the team that's going to help us go out there and win games. But my mentality stays the same. I'm still the same dude that's going to go out there and play extremely hard and keep working on what I need to get better at, you know, so.
Hey, what's up, Ferg?
What's up, man?
So, other than, you know, adding to your toughness level while you were out in Eurobasket, what did you work on this summer, just in terms of your game and everything?
So for me, that was a long summer with the national team, all the training camps. I think the experience was really important for me to get better. But until our training camp starts with the national team, I've been working on ball handlings a lot to get my rhythm back a lot. Because last year it was a little tricky for me, you know, a lot of ups and downs. That's why I refresh my mind, I refresh everything, and then get working on my body again, you know, get in shape, get in better shape. And overall, like, not just one specific things. We know at the end of the day, when you come here, you just need to make the shots. But I don't think game is all about making the shots, you know, making the right play, reading the game better, and then helping the team from a different perspective on defense too. Overall, that was a good summer for me.
Gina Mizell with the Philadelphia Inquirer. At exit interviews a few months ago, you mentioned that you had identified what was maybe wrong with your shot. how much are you? First of all, are you able to reveal what that was? It was kind of a secret before. And how did you go about working on that specific part of your game this
I
summer?
mean, yeah, I can say that right now. I had a little nerve damage starting since All-Star break of last year, and then that gives me a little bit losing the sensation in my fingers and stuff. It was a little bit about injury too, and then I lost my rhythm. My mechanic little change. It was like little changings. I was feeling, but like we couldn't really tell what was going on. During the summer, I had enough time to look like what's really going on and then treat it. I had a rehab for like almost 2 months. I had a good time to get better, and now I'm like I'm feeling good. I'm feeling much better. Only thing that like I cannot wait just to go out there and play.
To show once training camp officially starts?
I'm just trying to show that I can bring the energy and the competitive spirit that the team is looking forward to win a championship. And I can be a great fit for this team, whatever they need me to do. I feel like I can do it at a high level and at a consistent rate.
Yeah, I say the same thing. Just kind of showing that I can fill a role that they may need. And kind of being a good teammate, being a good guy, and just, being a good guy.
Julian, you have a twin brother who was on a two-way as a rookie in the NBA last year. What advice has he given you? What's some of the advice that you're thinking about most entering your rookie season?
The thing that he's told me the most is kind of just to, stay even, keep it even kill. There can be games when you play, games when you don't play. You're going to be frustrated, you're going to be happy. It's just an up and down roller coaster kind of ride. So just going through the year, just keeping the even head and just taking it with a grain of salt.
For Trevelin, knowing your journey, when it comes to toughness and how that's defined, what do you think of when you think of toughness for a basketball player?
Doing all the small things, doing whatever it takes to win, whether that's being a dirty guy, doing the scrappy small stuff, or being the leading scorer. I feel like whatever it is, you do it at a high level, you do it with consistency.
Trevelin, now that you've been around with the team a little bit, have you been able to talk to Doc and maybe get an idea of like what he's expecting out of you or anything like that just yet?
Oh, no, we haven't had no personal conversation about what my role may be or anything like that, but as far as the league goes, they already know what I can do and what I bring to the table, and I feel like that's what I got to show during training camp and everything like that.
Hey, Trevelin, Noah Levick, NBC Sports Philly. G League MVP last year. Obviously, you did a bunch well at that level. What do you think in your game best translates to the NBA and can be an asset up here?
I feel like my scrappiness on both ends of the court, being able to the offensive rebound and defend the 1 through 3 very well at a high level. I feel like that's the small things that a team can look for. Philly can look for towards me, and I feel like that's what I bring to the table: the small, scrappy, tough nose kind of things.
Julian, for you over here, what have you observed in the pickup runs and everything about some of the veterans on this team?
To be honest, I've never been around leaders like that. So it's kind of a good feeling to have to know you have guys to turn to and talk to and lead the team. So that's definitely been the biggest thing I've been taking note on is that they're leaders.
Gina Mizell from the Philadelphia Inquirer. What's up, D'Anthony? How are you?
Good.
Now that you've had a chance to work with some of your new teammates and kind of the off-season runs and whatnot, just what are sort of your maybe not initial impressions, but further impressions, and how you sort of fit in with this group heading into the season?
I think, given my play style and what the team brought me here to do, it's just to impact the game every which way possible. So that's offensively, defensively. It could be getting a loose ball, rebound, guarding somebody. So I think I'll be able to fill in perfectly with them, because I think everybody understands what we're trying to do, and we got to do it as a team.
Hey, D'Anthony. Kyle Newbeck, Philly Voice. Was getting traded on your radar at all coming into the offseason? I know that's kind of nature of the business, but you've been a big part of Memphis and the young rebuild they've had going on there.
Not really. But I think once it happened, and hearing the chatter and stuff like that, given the background, Daryl definitely, he drafted me originally. So I think once the situation, I found out where I was going, what was happening, and after talking with everybody over there, I think I was just super excited and super ready to get to it. With this and the Sixers organization. So I think, them bringing me here is something that both sides, is happy with, and I think it's a win-win on both sides.
And, once you got traded, did that change your off-season approach at all in terms of what you're working on because of the different, roster situation, or is it same either way?
I think for me it was same either way. I think the way I play, my game translates to any situation. So, I've always decided to get better, every which way during off season. So I just want to continue to improve on everything. It could be shooting, defensive, getting my body better, dribbling. So all that type of stuff I definitely attack in the season every year, no matter what.
D'Anthony, Paul Hudrick, Liberty Ballers. Since you've been here, obviously the team has gotten together a lot, and the guys have gotten gotten some runs in. Is there any particular player or players that you've already kind of felt a little bit of chemistry with, or like your games kind of mesh well?
Daniel House, he was with me in Summer League when I first got drafted, so, definitely him. But, just I feel like the whole group, everybody's unselfish, and everybody's, we're playing together as a team right now, given, the pickups and stuff like that. But, I feel like I can mesh well with anybody. If it has to be, being more on ball or being off the ball, I'm willing to do, and I understand that winning comes first, and that's all I'm trying to do here.
Hey, D'Anthony, Kate Scott, NBC Sports Philadelphia. How difficult has it been for you to be nice to Matisse after he stole the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year award from you? He might have joked about that earlier.
I think that's still a sensitive subject. But, I've had several conversations with him about that. I'm going to keep bringing it up until they figure it out or change something. But
in all seriousness, though, you guys were a couple of the best defenders in the Pac-12, and now you're a couple of the best in the NBA on the same team. So how excited are you?
Look,
Speak of the devil, here he is.
You better be excited, man.
No, we talking about you stole my steals. No, I think given what, his ability and what he can do, especially at his size and, defend pretty much almost 1 through 5, I think it's special because I think I can go out there and, do very similar things. And we can definitely just, raise havoc out there and just, give offenses trouble. Not only just, stopping them, but, getting them into the offense, tiring them down. So when the fourth quarter comes around, they're a little bit more gassed because, me and Matisse are out there running around, getting steals, staying out of foul trouble, hopefully. But, I think us two out there is definitely going to be, definitely going to be havoc.
To build off that question, just guys have come up here and talked about how good defensively you guys have the potential to be. What sort of, as a new player here, what sort of attributes and pieces do you feel like kind of contribute to that, and maybe how exciting is that for you as a guy who really thrives on that end of the floor?
For me, just, my long arms, playing the pass lanes, being instinctual out there, you know, being vocal and just helping out. You know, having a big back line back there, and Joel, you know what I mean, it's, you know, definitely going to help. But understanding, you know, what the offense wants to do and taking them out of that, making it uncomfortable for them, and, you know, continue to make it uncomfortable and continue to read what they got going on. So I think all that things will play in and, you know, continue to carry on and, you know, be contagious.
Hey, what's going on, BJ?
What's going on?
So, what is it about this team that, obviously you played against them in the playoffs last year. What kind of stood out to you when you went into free agency and you thought, you know what, I'm ready to leave a pretty good situation in Miami to now come here in Philadelphia and help this team?
Honestly, I was me and James were trying to come the year before, so I kind of already knew the vibe, the makeup of the team. Having a lot of people here already knew. It just made sense. Honestly. When you're a free agent, you have to look at it all, especially being a vet. I couldn't imagine playing for a team not fighting for a championship anymore. Being in a situation, feel like you can't win. Like I couldn't do that. So picking the best situation for me and checking all the boxes, and it just checked all the boxes.
Gina Mizell from the Philadelphia Inquirer, to kind of build off that question, just as you saw the rest of the Sixers offseason unfold with the other additions, just what's that process now going to be like for all of you to sort of start implementing yourself during training camp? I know it's already started with some offseason runs and whatnot, but just what do you anticipate these next steps kind of being like?
Yeah, it's different. Once you get to camp, you start laying the foundation for what you're going to hang our hat on all year. When the going gets tough and, got games you got to win and, you're on the road, back-to-backs, all the stuff you go throughout the season. Right now we start to build all those little things that, we'll be able to hang our hats on. And this is a fun time for me. I love it. This is when you kind of, your personality shows and guys get to know you really. Guys you played against forever, but, being on the same team is different. And, I love that process. Be able to, get there. So get to the end of the season, playoffs, guys are locked in together, ready, and understand each other.
Hey, PJ. Paul Hudrick, Liberty Ballers. You've obviously played against Joel Embiid a whole bunch, but what's it kind of been like to see him up close and just to see how he goes about his business and how he works?
Yeah, I already know. We laugh because Joe, when I was starting center a couple years ago, he used to crack jokes all literally while we're playing, and to see him grow over the years and to become one of the best players overall in the league. I'm just happy now that I don't have to go against him anymore. Have to guard him. So I'm excited. He's such a good player. He makes everybody else around him great, and when you got somebody as dominant as him. That I don't think anybody in the league can guard one-on-one. It just makes everybody else have to step up and be able to be around them and hold it down.
Hey, PJ, right here. Kyle Newbeck from Philly Voice. We were told you had a small procedure on your knee. I guess, first of all, how are you doing? And, do you think that's going to be any kind of issue heading into camp or preseason?
Yeah, I'm doing great. No, we did it time-wise. It made sense. Go ahead and get it knocked out. It's been 6 weeks. I'm fully cleared and back on the court and doing everything. So I'm excited.
So then on top of that, I guess, as you move deeper into your 30s and you have a reputation as a tough player, plays through bumps, bruises, what have you, do you need to think more about, taking it easier at times, especially during the regular season when you guys know, your end goal is a championship and,
I don't know what that is. I just wouldn't play. I just play. It's not like a process. I thought of a maybe. I may not need to play because I may you know what I'm saying? It's players play.
PJ to your left. Mike Sealski from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Your reputation as a tough player obviously precedes you. Where did that develop from? And at an NBA level, what does that mean to be a tough player? Is it something beyond just showing up and playing hard every night? There seems there's something kind of beyond that. What is it?
I don't know if I could give you the exact answer of what it is. I think it's different for everybody. I think people see somebody and they're make a mean face and they're yelling and they think they're tough. It's not toughness. Like I said, it's being accountable, reliable, not backing down every night, different assignments, doesn't matter, being available, not being hurt, being able to go out there and compete. There's so many different facets that go into being tough, but for me, the biggest toughness is the mental toughness to be able to play in the NBA season, play all games, most games, and play in the playoffs, and like that consistency. I think that's the biggest thing about being tough.
Hey, PJ, Sam DiGiovanni, Clutch Points. You obviously have familiarity here. You mentioned with James, with Daryl as well, but you've still been moving around the league so frequently over the past few years. Even though you know people coming in here, has it been challenging at all to move so many different locations over such a short amount of time?
No, it's part of the job. It's, you just take every opportunity, do the best you can, trying to figure it out. 17 years in, I've been all around, so it's nothing new. But this is like coming back home for me, so definitely not this year.
Yeah, back to your left again, PJ. The 3-year deal that you got, were you surprised that the Sixers went to 3 years? Did you tell them you need to go to 3 years?
I said, Daryl, if you don't give me 3 years, no.
Seriously, how did you guys land on that number?
It just made sense, honestly, for me. My career and how things have gone, the process to get to that point of obviously my age and everybody talking about that, but it's more about the win now, right? We want to win right now here, and I wanted to be somewhere with a bunch of vets that want to win right now. Obviously, my relationship with Daryl for the years of being in Houston, but me seeing the opportunity. You have other teams that are interested. Somebody, has to jump out there a little bit more to make it happen, and they did. They showed me a sacrifice one and to believe in me. So, I showed the love back and actually signing to come here. So, cool.